Mike here, baseball collector, and I thought it decided to go live tonight. Little Sunday night live. Happy Easter to everybody. Hope everybody had a good night. And I'm here with Garrett, my buddy card cutter. How you doing, Garrett?
What's going on, Mike? How's it going, brother?
Well, I'm doing well. The reason I wanted to go live with you was to kind of discuss an issue that's been brought up in one of my videos on a comment by a guy named Wayne who watches a lot of my videos, and he brought up a great question that I think is worth discussing. And it is, when is enough enough? Like in this hobby, at what point are you done? What point do you have enough stuff? And so you've been collecting what, 25 plus years?
Yeah, I could probably say almost 30 years now, but yeah.
Yeah. And I've been collecting since 81. So what's that? 38 years?
It's been 100 years.
100 years? And, a lot of people wonder, when do I have enough stuff? When is, because I collect and you collect, if people don't know you, you collect a lot of football autographs, TTMs, all sorts of great stuff. And I collect Hall of Famer autographs and PSA slabs, and I built the beast to fill it up, right? I mean, I didn't build it to sit and have empty drawers in it, I guess, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what do you think of that question, just in general? What's your thoughts?
The first thing I guess that would come to mind is, well, it's kind of tough. For me, there is no end game. There is no enough is enough, because I started in this hobby ages ago when Mark McGuire was extremely skinny and went on the Oakland Athletics, and that's all I collected was Mark McGuire. And then I went to Dave Justice, and then I went to Houston Astros, then I went to just baseball, and then overnight I almost went from just baseball to strictly game use stuff.
Right.
And then I went from game use stuff to San Francisco Giants, and then from that, right on into football, and that's kind of where I'm at today. And the reason I say that there is no end game, because I just collect whatever I feel like. I know in the TTM world, there's a lot of athletes that I've probably gotten upwards of 5, 6, 7 times through the years. And it's because there's another card that I've seen that I would like to get signed, or, I see this, man, that would look really nice with some ink on it. Or I got this guy to sign this card would look great next to it. So there really isn't an end game for my style of collecting. And I would imagine the same holds true for most anyone in the hobby, because there's always new sets coming out. There's always new products. There's always that next class of Hall of Famers. There's always that next batch of top 100 prospects. It doesn't end.
And do you think it means we have a problem? The answer to that is probably yes, but not a problem per se, because it's a collecting. It's a Mike the Autograph Network says, enough is enough when it's not fun anymore. Man, that is so. That's gospel right there, man. Because I'm sure, Garrett, you've had times in your collecting life, just like I do, when, okay, I'm over. Like, I had a Juan Gonzalez collection back in the day, a huge one, 4,000 plus different cards, hundreds of autographs, etc. And it just got to be not as fun anymore, so I sold it, the whole thing, to one guy for 10 grand, done, and was thrilled to death to be done with that. And then I moved on to Hall of Famers. And so I guess you can get don't you go through phases in your collecting life, Garrett?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of in a TTM rut right now, where the thought of sitting down and writing a TTM letter just about makes me want to vomit. So I've muscled through about 4 or 5 of them the other night, and I say night because it took me about 4 to 5 hours, and something that would normally take me 20 to 30 minutes. But yeah, there's always peaks and valleys, in this hobby. And for me, I would say the two true enough is enough is what Mike Rhodes just said of the when it's no longer fun anymore. And I would say the other one is when you can't afford it, when you're going beyond your means or something like that, which I know I've definitely done that, a handful of times in the past where I bought something or kind of went crazy at a card show, and the next week I'm like, damn, man, I've been eating ramen noodles for about 4 days now. This kind of sucks. I would say that's enough right there.
Or if it starts taking over if you stop spending time with your kids or with your spouse or, but that would be true of any addiction. That would be true of any vice. Too much of anything is not healthy. And in this hobby, it's easy to get consumed. It's easy to get the keeping up with the Joneses, don't you think? Well, I saw so-and-so either on a forum or on a video get this card, and now I want it, but that's kind of out of my price range. Like I saw Joe Silver Jackify get that Mantle rookie, and I wasn't jealous. I was happy for him, but it made me go, man, maybe I can get one. And in reality, man, unless I stop doing what I'm doing now and what I have a passion for to just focus on getting that card, I can't afford to do that.
Right.
And it would be a fool's errand to try. And so I'll just wait, and maybe someday I'll have that card. But that's a good example for me personally of some time I've coveted something and wanted it as well and been like, man, that would be great, But have you ever had that?
Yeah. I mean, I would say to a point. I don't want to talk too much about the show or the national because it seems to be a big topic in a lot of videos these days, which just happens to be one of my favorite topics. But I see, like, people will go to the show with, man, just a fat stack of cash. You know what I mean? I'll say, I don't know. We don't obviously talk about how much money we bring to this thing, but I would say $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 plus. Well, I'm the head of a household of 6, including myself. And for me to get that kind of money, even for Atlantic City, which is over, a year and a half away.
Right.
I'm kind of allotted $150 on the 1st and $150 on the 15th. That's my 2 paydays.
That's your hobby budget, so to speak.
Right. So for me to get that kind of money, like, I have to start saving right now. And between now and the end of July of next year, there's going to be 50 to 100 different things I want to buy.
For sure.
And then it's just setting the priority of, what's more important to me. Back to the wins enough is here I say I meet my goal and I have $5,000 to take to the show, but the enough is maybe that $2,000 of that could go towards something to do with my family or so on and so forth, instead of just diving in the deep end, if you will, of me and my hobby.
Yeah, because at some point, last I checked, there's not baseball card stores in heaven. So, I'm not taking any of this with me. And, that's probably whole other discussion is you mentioned the end game. You can think about the real end game of life and then what happens to your collection. Because my wife and 2 kids could give 2 shakes about all this crap in this room. And it would get sold, I can guarantee you, damn near immediately. And so, the end-to-end game is a different topic. Maybe another great video where Garrett and I get on here if you all want to hear about that, kind of what we think. And Bart said it's an addiction. Can't stop, won't stop. And, there's a reason.
I would kind of agree to that. I really would.
For sure.
I personally don't have a whole lot of vices. I'm not a big drinker. You could probably count on your hands and feet how many drinks I have in a year. don't smoke. I've never even taken a puff off a cigarette. I don't dip. I don't have any tobacco vices. But most definitely, I would probably say I am addicted to the hobby. Because if I have to go sit in a waiting room somewhere for someone in the hospital to get oil change, whatever, the first thing I'm popping open is eBay. And I may not even have anything in mind. I might just search PSA DNA just to see what comes up, man, because that's my entertainment. I'd say the two vices I have, and they go hand in hand, is the hobby and the YouTube community.
Yeah. Literally, if I'm anywhere with any time on my hands at all, and sometimes when I don't, like if I'm driving with Julie and she's wanting to talk to me and I'm over searching eBay if she's driving, or seeing on my YouTube feed who's got a video up that I can go watch later. And, it is definitely an addiction, and there's no question. And that, again, that's not necessarily bad. It's just, with every moment spent doing one thing, you're giving up a moment to do something else.
Yeah, agreed.
It's a choice. And, I can either search eBay or go play golf, or search eBay and hang out with my kids, or go to a movie with my wife, or whatever. It's always a choice of time. Not, some people have more time than others. But it's a hell of a lot of fun if you love baseball, and or in your case football. If you respect the Hall of Fame, you love the history of it. That's another. Oh, do you think? Here's a great question. I'm changing subjects real quick on you because Gary just brought up something that I thought was. I don't know if he meant to, but here's the thing. For me, YouTube is also a. It can be both an enticer and a temperer of the addiction. Do you know what I mean? It can be. You can see something and go, "Oh man, that is awesome! I would love that." Or it can be. It can scratch the itch. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And
I would say for me, the scratching that itch part is, so I kind of have, I'm all about being humble. That's like one of my pet peeves in life. But I kind of have an ego when it comes to TTMing. I truly feel like there's no one that I can't get. And that's just, I felt like that for about 5 or 6 years now. And so I try to challenge myself all the time with, man, okay, we'll get this dude. And I'll just go bananas for about a month trying to get him. And then it's like putting that line in the water. You got to wait for that fish to bite in the mailbox, if you will. So when I watch someone's TTM video on YouTube and they get somebody that I really, really want and I've never got, it drives me bananas.
You're like,
that's the itch and the scratch, and that's kind of when the TTM fire gets kicked off, if you will. Because I kind of have well, I'd be damned if they can get it and I can't.
You look at it as a challenge.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, Michael. Michael Lawson. We got a lot of people on. We got 37 people who want to know when enough is enough. And
just so y'all know, I don't have YouTube up. I'm not seeing what any of the comments are.
Okay. One guy asked, the Faltsy asked, if you guys weren't married with children, where would your collections be?
Dude, oh my God.
Wow.
Well, first, I'd probably have a really nice cardboard box entertainment center. But man alive, would I have some nice cards.
Yeah. God, it would be on a whole. I mean, seriously, it would be absolutely on a different level.
I mean, I could speak to that a little bit and speak for you because, we're really good friends and we know each other on a personal level. I got a daughter right now that is a junior or going in, to her junior year here before too long. So she's still a sophomore. But now all these little events are starting to come up that they need money for left and right. And next year, my oldest son is going to be in high school. And he wants to play football. And here comes all this money for football. And I know your daughter is going to be going to Oklahoma, and tuition and all this other stuff that she's going to need. So I don't mean this to sound like ugly in any means, but like kids are like little money vacuums. And
that's not ugly. That's truth.
And when you got multiple little money vacuums, that's why I'm on a budget of $150. I make a whole lot more money than $150 budget. But when I got 4 little vacuums running around and my wife, money gets stretched thin really quick.
Yeah. I mean, we just finished remodeling, or we're not even finished yet. This week we'll finish remodeling our master bathroom. Well, good grief. That was, let's just say it was a lot of money. And, I mean, you guys, if y'all have ever remodeled a bathroom, it ain't cheap. And so, way more than 5 figures. So, that's all money that doesn't get to go to cards, because we all have only so much money. And I would think money drives it. But what's funny about my collection is I get some bigger items, and if I wanted to, I could save up for the bigger stuff, I guess. But I'm the death by 1,000 cuts, meaning, you can get to spend a whole lot of money, $20 at a time, $10 at a time.
And that's what me and you were talking about, was it earlier this week? When I brought up that comment to you, and I think you brought up Joe's mantle, and I told you that you could easily afford it if you weren't doing this 3 decades project where you're buying hundreds upon hundreds of $6 slabs, $7 slabs, $11 slabs. All of those just add up.
Sure.
Over and over and over. Where some people want quantity, and that's could be a whole nother video is, what's more important to you, quantity or quality? And I find myself on a somewhat frequent basis, maybe a couple times, 3 times a year, kind of going back and forth where, I'll TTM just a bunch of dudes that I just know I'll get back. And they may not be quality at all. But then I'm like, well, this is great. Now I've gotten all these $2 autographs back. This kind of sucks. There's nothing of quality here. And then I'll go out for those big fish, and then I'll get frustrated that I checked the mail for a week and only got 1 return. It might have been Ichiro.
Right.
But I only got 1 return this week. And so guess what? After a couple months of that, it's screw this, man. Let's get the engines running again and get back the $2.
Yes, I definitely find myself there. And I look at other guys like Dave, Blue Jacket 66, he'll buy bigger stuff, and it's like, man, I could have that if I just stopped buying all the little crap. But I like the little crap, man. I like getting little slabs every day. And hey, Jonathan, how are you, man? I'm trying to catch up with everybody. Snoop's on. Golly, so many guys. Stefan, Blue Ink. Somebody says they love you. Yo show your hits. Yo show your hits.
That's it's Ben, man. That's my dude.
Ben.
Back in the day.
Welcome, Ben.
Yeah, I like Ben. He's a hell of a dude.
So, where were we at? I don't know. I'm trying to say hi to everybody, which is
we were talking about quantity versus quality.
Yes. I like the little stuff. I like. Maybe that's why the attraction at card shows is the dime boxes, because you can feel like you can go in and spend $5 or $6 and get a whole stack of cards, or you can go buy one, XYZ rookie card for $50, PSA 10 or whatever, right?
Yeah, I was since I'm a nerd, I was on the treadmill last night watching your last year's national recap for about the 20th time. And I remember you in one video, you got like an errand, which you were happy about, but it seemed like you got more happy and more giddy about all of these little slabs that you picked up over and over, and you just seemed happier about the quantity versus the quality, which, you know, that's up for debate, and only you know that. But it's kind of cool how you did that in that video, and you had obviously you didn't know we were going to be doing anything like this.
Yeah, my answer to that is I liked all of it. Is the true answer. I enjoyed getting the Aaron rookie very, very much. Thrilled to death. And I loved getting the $5 Nolan Ryan slabs. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Getting some feedback on your channel or on your phone. That's better. Whatever you did. Okay, so who was this that asked? Got another good question here. First of all, Victor Roman says we could probably make a good bit of money if we leaned out some of our collection, cleaned it out. And I know you've done that, Garrett. You've gone through and sold a bunch of stuff to clean out some dead weight within your collection, right?
Yes, I have.
And I would tell you the only reason I haven't done any of that is I don't need the money. And I don't mean that in a bragging way. I just don't. And if I did, I would sell stuff. If I needed to sell stuff to have money to buy cards, to buy other stuff, I would do that. But I don't need to. And I still have enough space. Space would also be the other reason to do that. And, But the other question was from Stefan, who is the sports card fam. Mike, do you find yourself buying more just to make videos as opposed to buying something more expensive? That's a great question. What do you think, Garrett? Do you ever find yourself doing that?
Not lately. When I say lately, I'd say probably not in the last 2 years. I know me and you've talked to where I've kind of turned my channel into more, because YouTube for me wasn't getting fun for a while, because I felt like I had to do what I felt people wanted to see. And so once I started kind of getting back to the original reason why I did the channel of, archiving my collection, if you will, telling stories, shooting the breeze, making it fun again for me. But back in the day, when I was more focused on the likes and the subs and all that, I would find myself just trying to pump out, 20 to 30 TTMs a week, just so I would get in that quantity to make videos. So yes, I can definitely relate to that question.
For me, that answer would be no, not directly. I don't buy things. I buy things because they fit in my collection. I just have projects that are so ginormous that, I probably buy stuff on eBay. I buy something on eBay almost every day of the week. I'll tell you that, which means I'm getting packages almost every day of the week. And for me, I don't save them. There's guys that save them all up and do here's everything I got this week, and they may get 5 packages in the week, just like I might, and they'll do one video. Well, I don't put it away until I've done it, until I've shot it on video. And so it annoys the piss out of me just to sit here, and it just bothers my OCD nature. And so I shoot a video, and if it's 1 card or 3 cards or 2 cards that I got in, great. And I'd put it away. So I don't do videos, or I don't buy stuff just to make videos. It just happens that the way I buy stuff lends itself to me making a lot of content. I'm at 400. This is my 450th, 451st video or something like that I've shot in the last however long I've been doing videos. And when I get to 500, we're going to have a really nice, when I get to my 500th video, which would be in a few months, I'm going to do a really cool contest. But I do not do that just to buy stuff for that. Okay. Michael Lawson said anyone would enjoy getting an Aaron rookie card. Yes, you're right. Cubs fan 7523 says bargain bins can also get you in trouble as well. Death by 1,000 cuts. Love that analogy. I agree.
The bargain bin thing, I would say, and I don't know how much on topic this is, but I remember going to, man, I don't even remember what freaking national it was. It was the very last one I went to. It was in Chicago. What would that have been? 16 maybe?
Yep,
17?
2 years ago. No, 17.
So, and I'm not a big dollar bin guy. I love the concept of it, absolutely, but I don't know, man. I just always have to go. And just sitting somewhere for 20 minutes to an hour flipping through a box just drives me bananas. But I did at that show. I sat down at a couple booths for a long time, and I was just, man, I'd get done and I'd have a stack like 4 or 5 inches. You know, the dealer would be like, oh, just say $50. Okay, $50. And I go to the hotel that night, and I'm like, man, what the hell was I thinking getting all these cards, dude? It was like, I was buying cards for $1 that I was like, oh, that's a good deal. That's a $2 card. But the dollar bins will get you in some trouble, man. I feel like they're like the penny slots of the card world.
Yeah. Madden Crazy Titans fan asked a really good question. He says, does anybody feel empty when nothing is in the mail, especially for a couple of days? No, I don't feel empty. I guess maybe I will start feeling empty, but no, because it's kind of weird. I guess the cycle of eBay, right? So you buy something, or you're looking for something, or whatever. You're searching, you find something, or maybe you find something and it's on your watch list. Well, that could be for up to a week, right? To 10 days, and so then you've got, if you bought it, then it takes another week to 2 weeks to get it. So by that cycle, I guess I've already bought the card. So to me, the idea of buying it and receiving it is kind of goes together. I don't really sweat that part of it. So I always have something going, I guess, either in one of those stages of the process, watching, buying, or bidding, buying, receiving, mailing, whatever, right? So that makes me not feel empty, I suppose.
I would say, so I used to get super excited to check the mail every day, as I'm sure, you know, a lot of us are. And then I got this damn informed delivery.
Right.
So now I work nights, so I get off on an average night anywhere between 2 in the morning to 5 in the morning. And then I have an alarm for 11 a.m. So I wake up at 11, and I kind of have this routine where I lay in bed, kind of check my email, check any of my notifications on my phone before I get out of bed. And I always have an email sitting there waiting on me for the informed delivery. And, man, if I don't have a TTM and that informed delivery, I'm like, damn it, man. And I wouldn't say it's an empty feeling, but it's like exactly like I just said, like, damn, man, that sucks. And, we'll go tomorrow. So I don't know, in the TTM community, Wednesdays really suck. It seems like there's just not a lot of good mail on Wednesdays. So Wednesdays is always like, well, here it comes, the big goose egg. More times than not, that's true.
So how many TTMs would you say you have out there right now?
Oh, man, come on. We're talking like thousands, man.
What about realistic that you think you'll get back?
Maybe, I don't know, 50 to 100.
Okay.
If I were to stop today and nothing else went out today, I would say I'd say in the next 3 years, because, some of these dudes take forever. I would say in the next 3 years, I'd probably get 50 to 100 back.
Okay. So you'd get a couple a week for the next year or two.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably fair.
Man, y'all are writing so much, I'm getting lost on the comments. There was another good question. Hang on. Let's see. Okay. JT, who is Triple Crown 24, big Miguel Cabrera guy and Tigers guy. Does the number of projects you guys have, help keep it fresh? The more things you have, and I'll go first on this one. He said, I imagine if you get bored with one project, you can jump to a different one in a minute or two, and that's for me the key to not getting bored or stale with the hobby. is I have literally dozens of projects that I am at various points of completion, and I'm a completionist. So it's funny, like let's say 5-star autographs, I'll go look at those and pull up all the different ones that I still need and eBay search them. And I'm very careful about how I eBay search, and I'll literally just be looking at a list of things that I need and start typing it in. And I'm very meticulous about it, and then move on. Okay, there's nothing there. I find a few to watch, and they go on my watch list. Great, and then move on to another project or celebration postcards for direct Perez Steel or whatever. I mean, yes, I have so many. Oh, let's go see if I can find any 1962 tops for my 3 decade set, and I'll just do a year at a time, searching, and all of those help keep it fresh. What about you, Garrett?
I don't think I could be any more opposite than you. I'm the type that I like to invest everything into. When I say everything, I mean money, time, whatever, everything into one area. And that's why you see just a ton of Hall of Fame TTMs over and over and over. And if you watch 10 of my videos in a row, you'd probably see the same guy, in 2 or 3 of them.
Lance Allworth. And
they're a freaking Lance Allworth addiction a couple years ago.
And then, but you just got all the Jack Youngbloods in one fell swoop, so you're done with him.
Now I'm kind of Sonny Jurgensen, kind of the Kool-Aid I'm drinking right now.
Okay.
But it's not that I don't like certified, because I love certified stuff. I think it's freaking awesome, the patches and the autographs and all that. And if I made an extra $50,000 a year, I'd probably collect that stuff. But I can't afford to go that way, so I don't go that way. I don't look too much into that. So I kind of like to stay focused on my binders that I keep my Hall of Fame autographs in that I probably could and should show one day in a video.
It's good discipline. Not everybody can be that way.
See, I just look at it like I don't have a choice.
Right.
Because I got into, and not a lot of people know this, but I got into TTMing because I couldn't afford certified stuff. If I bought, I don't know, a nice Earl Campbell patch autograph, that's $80.
Right.
Well, if I go to checkoutmycards.com, I can buy a ton of cards and probably 2 or 3 books of stamps for $80. So I just looked at it like, I could get this one autograph, or, with 3 books of stamps, that's 30 requests. You get 10 requests, typically per book of stamps. So that's 30 requests. That's potentially 30 autographs. I normally send 2 cards per request. So that's 60 autographs. So that's why I got into TTMing.
So I know you do a lot of slabbing as well for your autographs, and you run, Slab City. For those of you that don't know, Garrett and his wife Tiffany run Slab City, and they do PSA DNA group submissions, and it's really great. I've used them plenty, and they're great. I have some more stuff to send you, by the way, Garrett, but we'll get to that later. Do you think that just slabbing in general, whether it's PSA, BGS, SGC, doesn't matter, the company feeds the addiction and is like it's like the crack cocaine is laced with set registries and projects and what grade can I get? Oh, I want a higher grade. I got an 8 and I want a 10. Or do you think that feeds it even worse?
Yes. It's like 1,000% yes. But I think the answer to that question would be different per collector. It's where some guys just absolutely love how they look in a slab. You know what I mean? And for me, it is all about the money. So if I know I have a $20 or $30 raw TTM autograph, and I know I can get it slabbed, you know, now it's maybe $60. And say I paid that extra little bit to get the autograph grade, and it came back at 10. You know, maybe now it's $70 or $80. And you know, it just makes everything worse.
Yeah, I cannot tell you how many cards I have bought for my 3 decade craziness in the 80, you know, an 87 tops George Brett that is in nickel boxes, quarter boxes all over the country, and I'll pay $28 for a PSA 10. You know what I mean? It's so stupid, but I do it, so I'm must be. I mean, it's my fault. I choose to do it, but that definitely feeds it for me, for sure. So, man, you know, we've been talking now 35 minutes, and I just wanted to come on and really show you guys or talk to you guys about this. I thought it was a great question posed by Wayne. He did it a few weeks ago, and Garrett and I were talking about it, off camera, and Garrett and I talk almost every day, right, Garrett?
Yeah, I would say at least.
And so sometimes multiple times a day. And I was asking him this question, and we thought it'd be a great discussion for you guys to participate in. Man, I don't want to be too long here because I got to still go watch Game of Thrones, and Garrett's he's got to stay up a little while. But thanks everybody for being here. If you have other questions, if you're watching this later on playback and you have questions for me or Garrett, put them down in the comments, and Garrett and I will check those, and we'll see if we can't help you guys. But when is enough enough? I think Garrett and I's answer is when I'm dead, that'll be enough. Until then, I'll always have something to hunt for. I enjoy the hunt. I enjoy finding the card. I've never had buyer's remorse over a card, quite frankly. I think a lot of people can, but I've never had that problem. And have you, Garrett, ever had that?
Yeah, I would say. I know you were trying to end it here. But
no, this is good.
I've had a buyer's remorse, man. At the 2014, was it? The last National in Baltimore?
No, it was 13.
13, okay. So I just went, me and my wife went, which we plan on going together in Atlantic City as well together. But me and the wife went, and she was walking around the show, and the San Francisco Giants just won the World Series. And I was stationed in California at the time, and I became a huge Giant fan. And Pablo Sandoval was my favorite guy. And there was a guy there, Rich Edelman was the dealer. He had a Pablo Sandoval game-used mitt, game-used fielding glove. And so he had $1,200 on his mitt. Okay. So I know, as a lot of us know, that major leaguers will use, 1, 2 mitts, 3 probably at the very most a year. They kind of, adopt those things for a year, if you will. And so I knew that obviously, and this sucker's been game used a lot. So I was like, man, this is the creme de la creme of any player PC. Would be like a mitt. Holy smokes. Because they go through bats, 1 or 2 a week.
Sure.
You're not in cleats, maybe 1 or 2 a month, but not mitts. So I bought the mitt. I talked him down to $800. And then I went to a guy that works for PSA there, and he authenticates game-used memorabilia. So he was able to photo match and authenticate the glove that it was, no kidding, game-used, and it was game-used from estimated this time to this time, which was another $150 service. So now I got $950 invested in this Pablo Sandoval glove, and to this day, it's upstairs in a box. I think it's at the bottom of the box. And you want to talk about remorse.
Right.
I don't know if I can get $300 for that glove right now.
He's not even playing anymore. Or is he still with the Red Sox? Or
no, he's He's in San Francisco again.
Oh, that's right. He went back.
I will say I don't know if he's their starter, but I just watched the game today and I seen him in the dugout, so I know he's there. I don't know if he's the starter or not. But damn it, I still got remorse from buying that glove.
Yeah, I guess my only remorse, I don't have remorse about it, but we all have money that we've sunk into stuff that is now worthless. My Josh Hamilton collection, I've probably got 25 grand invested into Josh Hamilton stuff, and it's worth nothing now, really. A few bucks, relatively speaking. And so, man, I guess, well, the Angels are still paying him, so they probably have remorse more. They're paying him $25 million this year, so they probably have more remorse than I do about Josh Hamilton. But
you know, a player, PC Mike, that I don't even think you know that I had was Gabe Kapler.
No way.
Big time, man. So when he was on the Tigers, if you remember, he was a big time prospect, man.
For sure.
He was like a big deal. And so I was hardcore into baseball then, and I was into prospects and all that. So I kind of latched on to him, and he was kicking ass with the Tigers. Then he got traded to the Texas Rangers. Well, my uncle lives in Duncanville, or he did back then, and he still does today. And 3 to 4 times a year, he would invite me up, and he'd pay for me to go to the Rangers game. And, man, when he went to the Rangers, I just went bananas. And, man, I bet you I had 400 or 500 Gabe Kapler cards. I even have a game-used bat of his upstairs right now. But you want to talk about a PC, because he was getting big time there. Like the first year with the Rangers, man, he was really good.
That's right.
And then, holy smokes, he went down fast. And so did those prices.
And now he's the Phillies manager. Go figure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, man, thanks for doing this, Garrett. I hope it was helpful to everybody.
Yeah, man, this was fun. This was, as you know, it's kind of hard to get me on these things sometimes. And I had a lot of fun doing this, so thank you.
You're welcome. Again, if anybody has any questions as you're watching this back, let us know. And other than that, man, I hope everybody has a great rest of their Easter. And just keep collecting. Buy what you love. Well, toodles. Wait, how do you say it, Garrett?
Toodles.
Toodles. See you guys later. Peace.